But to be an actor or a filmmaker, fame isn't the goal. To do your work is the goal, and to do it well, and to have resources when things go wrong.
Hey everybody, this is Darwin Renan, the festival director of the Northfield Festival right here in Sweden, Stockholm. Today, for me, it's an honor. It's a very big honor because we have one of the greatest actors that anybody like me would be happy to interview. And he's here with me. He's Mr. Julian Richings. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much from all my team. We're really proud to have you. We're honored to have you. Mr. Julian, or I'm gonna call you Julian. Tell me, how do you get into acting? First of all, guide us a little bit.
I've always enjoyed acting. I have an older brother who had this peculiar talent, and he used to build things in our house, and he would build environments and circuses and fairground and side stalls. And I would be the guy that would inhabit those, and I would be the ringmaster and do all kinds of things for my brother. And he started to go to a youth club that put on plays where he could build sets. He became a set designer. And I went to the same youth club, and I didn't like doing what he did, so I started to act. So I've always acted right from my family. And I have a younger brother. He did the same thing. He became a lighting designer. We all had this interest that was sparked really by my older brother and his talent that needed to be channeled. And my parents were good enough to recognize this unusual talent, and they wanted to help channel it.
Right. Julian, do you study acting while you were becoming an actor? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. How important it is to study for actors in our festival. Tell us a little bit about that.
I think it's very important to study. It's very important for actors to understand that acting is a craft. It's a profession. It's not about being famous or about being a celebrity. Mm-hmm. And we get it confused in our culture, and we say, oh, you know, so-and-so must be great because they're really famous. But to be an actor or a filmmaker, fame isn't the goal. To do your work is the goal, and to do it well, and to have resources when things go wrong, so that you look at your performance or your film and you go, that didn't work, but I know that I can build on that. I know that I have a grounding in a discipline that can learn and continue. Otherwise, we fool ourselves and we get disillusioned very, very quickly, because it's a very difficult business. We are criticized all the time. We fail, and we have to be able to take the risks that may fail and may succeed, rather than just always trying to do something that is predictable and for financial or selfish reasons.
All right. Wow. That's a really good answer, especially because, you know, young people, more younger than me, we always thinking about more that what you say about the fame, and we are more worried about that than actually doing what you're saying, which is.
I'm lucky because I have a grounding in theater, in live theater. And live theater, I love it. It's a marvelous feeling to be in a room with people sharing a story and to feel the electricity in the room. But it's hard work, and it's repetitive work. Mm-hmm. And you understand that it's not glamorous, and you understand that there are many other people that make the story that you're telling. It's not just about you. And when you have direct contact with your audience, you understand how important your audience are. It's not just how marvelous you are. You depend on your audience. And in recent years, I've been very fortunate because I've belonged, as you know, to a show called Supernatural. Mm-hmm. And Supernatural is unusual to me, because for me, it's the first show that has ever had an audience that goes beyond just being a passive television audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's active, it's educated, it's very active in its own community, and it gives feedback. And it's felt that over the past 10 years, for the last sort of 5 seasons of the Supernatural series life, conventions and fan interaction has been a very important part of that. And I've really enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed the dialogue between performers and audience, and mutual respect. And I think that there is a danger when people only do things for fame, is that there's a desire to remove yourself from your audience and to become iconic, rather than to understand how things work.
Right. Wonderful answer. Yes. Julian, tell me, I know this question is a little bit tricky, because I'm going to ask you, how do you prepare a character? But of course, every single movie is a different preparation, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Can you walk us a little bit of some of your process?
It depends. I am an actor. Actors have to use their own instincts and to be able to trust who they are and how they respond to something. If they're confident, they will do that. I look a particular way. I have a particular voice. I trained in physical theater, which means that I've trained with my body, almost like a dancer, so that when I inhabit a character, I inhabit a character from head to toe.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I find reasons to move, and I think movement is very important on camera, on stage, because it reveals your thoughts. The way we move, the way we look, is an indication of what's going on under here. So personally, I find the physicality and the look of a character very important, and I find the psychology of the character very important. But I don't spend a lot of time thinking. I start to sort of try to intuitively understand the character emotionally. And often I will use things like music, or I will ask a director or a writer to say, when you were writing this piece, were you thinking about something in particular? Is there a piece of music? Is there a film that you watched that inspired you? Because I'd like to understand the subtext or the emotional undercurrent of the film or the TV show. So that's sort of generally what I do. But of course, tonally, it depends. I do comedy, I do horror, I do drama, and I enjoy each one. And each one needs to amplify the volume on certain things. But, you know, they're not separate. It's not horror, humor. I like mixing everything. So my portrayal of death in Supernatural, I like to think I am one of the most powerful beings in the universe. However, I am very simple, and I like simple human things. And I have life, and I enjoy the company of Dean, who is like a nephew. So even though I'm this huge being, I try to humanize him. So I mix up the two. And also I like jokes. So he's somebody that is very, very powerful, but that can laugh. Right. So I like to mix that. So if I ever play somebody or if I'm in a comedy, I like to ground my character in honesty and reality, not just laugh. So there's multi-dimensions to characters.
Mr. Julian, do you like to do rehearsals, or you like more spontaneity? How's that process for you? What do you think? So many actors say they like it, others say they want to be fresh. For you, what do you think?
I like rehearsals. I like knowing the structure, because if you're clear about the structure and clear about the expectation of the director, then you can bring your intuition and your spontaneity to the film set, but you know what world they want you to inhabit. Sometimes you watch a movie and you go, wow, that's a great performance, but it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't fit in. So it's my job as an actor to tell the story of the writer and the director. It's not my job to just go out there and sing a big solo. You understand? It's all about everything else. So rehearsals are very useful. However, I've done a lot of film where it's low budget and there is no room, no time for rehearsal. You know, you find yourself in a place in the countryside and the director says, okay, we'll go over there, we'll shoot there, and the sun is going down. We need this particular shot right now. So you just go in and you just have to be well prepared enough to be able to do that. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's wonderful because you're just going on instinct. But that's not always the case. And generally, it's much better to be in tune with where everything is in the construction of a film, because a film is a construction and it is ultimately dictated by an editor who cuts everything. It's no good doing something that will not be any use to the editor who's going to put that scene together, connect it to the next scene.
Right. Wow. Let me ask you this question, because you're such a professional actor. We all know that. I mean, when you portray death, it's a beautiful character. How do you like the directors? What is the thing that you like most of the trait from a director, especially as an actor, that you say, wow, yeah, I like this director because of this? What is that kind of trait you look in a director?
Well, it depends. I think directors bring personal qualities to a film set, and we're all different. Yes. So some directors are very good at choreography. You know, they'll say, I want you to be there, and then halfway through the scene, I want to move, and I want the camera to move in, and then you go, oh, I see, I understand. And that gives you a certain amount of freedom. Other directors are very actor friendly and they give lots of actor notes. This is again goes back to your question about training. It's important to have professional training, because you have to have an architecture internally to be able to build on, no matter what the requirement is. You have to be able to go, oh, they want me to do this, or I can be quiet here and just move. This is a technical scene, or this is a very emotional scene, or this is a scene about that person. I've been in many movies where I've been in a scene where really the scene is not about me, it's about the news that is being delivered to the other character. You understand what I mean? So therefore, you have to modulate your performance to make it more about the other character than about you. It's no good if you're saying, and your dad just died, you know, or some terrible revelation, and it's not about you, it's about the information hitting the character and seeing how that character deals with it. So you have to, but anyway, I've lost my track now.
No. That's everybody's listening to this wonderful answer that Julian is giving us to us, especially all my actor friends. This is really, really true what you just said. How about you, Julian? Give us a strategy, or what's your techniques to be in character when there are so many moving parts around you all the time, and then you have this limited time to do your performance? How do you keep yourself into that character when there are so many things around you?
I just concentration and not getting lost in the bustle of a film set. I like film sets. I really enjoy people being busy, and I enjoy watching grips and electricians and camera operators doing their work. But I'm able now to get into a neutral state and not get too involved in their work or their problems, or, you know, makeup artists saying, oh my goodness, you keep sweating, we've got to pad you down. If they're doing that, then I try not to get involved in their work. I just try to stay connected. I'm not a method actor. I don't assume the traits of that character all the way through the filming process. But I'm in a neutral state, like an actor that will stay neutral and get ready and then go into the part when cameras roll.
Right. Very nice answer. Julian, what about what does an actor need to do in a daily basis, even if they are not in set, or what should an actor do every day?
Remain open. And by that, I mean available. Like an actor's greatest asset is to be available to the moment, right? And when we see those moments on camera, we see somebody listening, really listening, not just pretending to listen, but really listening and really being affected by what they hear. So spontaneity is something that you can only achieve by being very, very open and not entrenched. So you have to be open to different opinions, different voices, different politics, different ways of seeing the world. So you don't come in like this. I'm a bad guy, so I'm going to be an asshole. You know, you might be a bad guy, but you might be doing it for reasons that you think are heroic, right? You know, so you have to find the openness to inhabit that character. So my preparation is to remain physically fit and open. So if I had to run, or I had to fight, or I had to die, or I could do it, and it wouldn't be too much of a problem. And also emotionally, that I can cry, I can kill, I can, you know, like you just have to be ready to do these things, and honestly, and do it as honestly as you can. So openness and spontaneity, and just, and I think that, as I said, the actor's biggest key is availability. How you maintain availability and being open to things, it's tricky. It's tricky because you can't go through life going, oh, this is lovely, this is lovely. You obviously have your own prejudice, your own opinions, but you have to be ready to sort of throw them out the window.
Right. Now that you mentioned about all this, I want to ask you, because this is another question that a lot of actors asking themselves, and me when I was an actor back in the days. I know you have a lot of practice on this now. Do you have any method of, well, you said you're not a method actor, for learning lines? Because this is the most important thing that actors really do, because I know friends, that's the most important thing, right? Do you have any, I mean, you have the practice now, we know that, but something at the beginning when you start this to learn the lines, because it's very important, we know that. Anything that you can share with us?
It's really hard. I find it hard. It's really hard. And it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier as you get older. Not because I'm old and senile or any of those cliches, but because it really depends on the character you're playing, the way that it's written. And if you have to understand the thought process of the character that is saying certain things. So unless you understand the reasons why you say things, you won't remember the words. So you have to go deep into it and let those words saturate your consciousness. And that's, sometimes it's easy, other times it's not. It's like food, you know, some food is easy to eat, and other food, you know, it takes a long time to digest. And some things that we're more suited to than others. Some are a challenge. Some we have to make a leap of faith, or put on an accent, or a mask, or makeup, or things. So it becomes difficult. But no, I have no secrets. And it's one of the curses of performing. And some of my actor friends are really good at it. And envy them all the time. You know, I go, how come you remembered your lines? You know, I feel like a naughty school child. I feel like, oh, I haven't done my homework, but I have, but sometimes it just doesn't sit very well.
You just practice, right? I guess that's
practice. Yeah.
Julian, now that you mentioned about listening is extremely important in acting, right?
Yes, it is, because we only respond according to what we hear and what we're asked. We don't always take control of the world. You know, we are listening, we are reacting, not just acting. We react as people. We are reacting to each other right now. And so is everybody in every situation. If you drive a car, you're not just driving that car, you're reacting to the weather, the environment, the light, other traffic, you know. So yes, you drive, but you are also very aware of everything else.
Yes. It's been an amazing interview with you, Julian. And my last question is, any advice for actors out there like me, like other actors? I'm a festival director as well, but actors that are struggling, they feel like rejection is all over the place. What kind of advice you can give us, especially in this industry?
It's hard. I understand it's hard. All I can suggest is to keep going and to keep doing it, because by doing, you not only learn, but you make contacts, you share ideas with people, and you create a team. You know, you create certain creative partners, and sometimes that leads to another project or another project, and to have faith in yourself and your need to do it, and just to keep going. That's all. I feel that part of the reason that I've kept going is that there's I just have kept going. I don't go, oh, I've done that before, oh, I'm not doing that, or I can't be bothered. There's a need inside, and once you feel that there isn't a need any longer, fair enough, say no, you know, and find a different path. But and maybe it will be a different path within the same industry, or maybe it will be a completely different industry, and you will be able to take what you've learned with you into wherever you go. But it's tough learning, I know.
Beautiful answer, Julian. Thank you so much for this wonderful interview, for those
You're very welcome.
Wisdom words about acting. I mean, we all know Julian, such a professional actor. Thank you so much. I hope we can see you in Sweden, maybe, right? Next year.
Love that. I would love that.
Thank you so much, Julian.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you.